Hi, this is Joey from J&J Fantasy Flyers.
And I'm Jason, and we're helping you soar above the competition.
Soar above the competition. Hi guys, welcome back to our ranking show here. I'm pretty sad that fantasy football is coming to an end, Jason, right?
It is week 16, and hopefully you are going into your championship matchup this weekend.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, I want to talk just a quick second here about the week 16 games. And it's just really about how, week 16, a lot of teams, if they do have, everything clinched, they kind of, I don't want to say pull their starters, but kind of rest them a little bit. And it's not really what you want. I think we both agree that your championship should be done week 15, right?
I mean, it depends. I mean, there are times when some teams do sit their guys, like I said, if they got something clinched, but it's usually week 17. I think it's more of a preference thing. Me personally, I don't care either way, week 15 or 16, but
Week 16 gives you kind of one more week. However, I like going week 15 just because even the teams that are out of it, there's a lot more teams that have something to play for.
Yeah, I mean, you see Aaron Rodgers got put back on IR just because, mainly because they have no chance now,
yeah.
so why risk it?
Yeah, and that's just kind of one thing that you spend all year with some guys, and now you got to make a stupid decision like that. But anyways, with that being said, if you're tuned into this episode, that means you are most likely in the championship of your league. If you're not, and this is your semifinals, well, hey, God bless you. Week 17, you got any questions for us? You could just ask us because
and my answer would be you shouldn't be playing in week 17.
No, you shouldn't. But hey, if you make it, you make it. God bless. Hopefully, J&J Fantasy Flyers got you. That's for sure. This is gonna be our last ranking show of the year. I know we got a couple Christmas things going on next week, and a lot of stuff with the kids being off of school and all that good stuff as well. So
Yeah.
we're gonna be pretty busy, and we're gonna be doing our dailies though.
Oh yeah, always get your daily in. They got some good. I love doing the daily in the playoffs, man.
Yeah.
You got like 4 games to pick from, 5 game, and it's fun because you got high powered offenses a lot of times. Sometimes you get this, I love doing it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's the funnest time to do it, and
So
it kind of brings back that little fantasy layover.
And I know we're going to be done with the podcast for the year, but I mean, I look for us on Facebook and Twitter because I think we'll definitely still be putting some daily fantasy advice out there. Maybe some deep sleepers to put on your lineups. Or some good values.
That, or we might even give you our sneak peeks and give you our whole entire lineups and who we're playing and who we're rolling with.
Premium content.
Yeah, absolutely. And you can also check out our website as well, jnjfantasyflyers.com. But also, we're going to dive right into this Week 16 show. Now, we're going to do this a little bit differently. Chances are Week 16, your rosters are already set. There's not too many guys out on waivers that you're going to pick up and start, especially this late in the season. So Jason and I talked about it, and we want to highlight some guys that maybe have been underperforming here in recent weeks, that you might have question marks about who to start. So we're going to dive right into it, and we're going to get right to, as we always start with quarterbacks. And Jason, I think the number one question mark here, and we can't believe that we're even going to say this, but I'd say the biggest question mark for quarterbacks is Tom Brady. If you're still alive in the championship and Tom Brady is your quarterback, what do we do? And he's going up against a sneaky tough matchup in Buffalo.
Yeah, he is. I mean, the fact is he's still the number 3 quarterback.
But he's not number 3 because of what he's done in his past 2 weeks.
No, I agree. The past few weeks he hasn't been that great, and he does go to Buffalo or he plays at home against Buffalo. If you remember a couple weeks ago when they played Buffalo, he only put up I think 10 points, 10.5 points, which his yardage was okay. He played fine. They just ran the ball in instead of throwing the ball in. Now that said, he is back at home this week. I think Burkhead is going to be out, who has been their goal line guy. I think they're going to get down on the goal line. They're going to be old school Patriots. They're going to look for Gronk, and they're going to be throwing in the red zone a lot more than they have the past few weeks with Rex Burkhead going out, because Burkhead has been a beast in the red zone the past few weeks when you've seen the dip in Brady's numbers.
Absolutely, and I'm a little bit shyer on Brady. I think if I have maybe a Ben Roethlisberger, I think I'd play Roethlisberger. Going up against Houston, that's almost a no-brainer. I think we both agree. However, if I were to dive a little bit deeper down, I mean, obviously, if you got a Cam Newton or Russell Wilson, Even a Drew Brees or Roethlisberger, I'd say you're starting them. I'd even say Phillip Rivers as well. I think the question marks kind of get into like maybe a Dak Prescott, a Case Keenum. I would say no to Dak going up against Seattle, but I think I would say yes to Case Keenum going up against Green Bay.
I was just looking at Keenum too, thinking about him, man, and it's. I don't see how you don't. He's been hot, and it's hard to rank him. I think higher. Where I also think he deserves to be. He's been good. He hasn't really killed you. He's been putting up solid numbers.
Yeah, I mean he's been everything that you want a fantasy quarterback to be. The problem is he was number 3 on the depth chart. I mean he's Case Keenum. He's not the name. But if we were to put blindfolds over everybody and just tell you what points that they've been putting up the past couple weeks, I mean let's just compare Brady's points to Keenum. I mean Brady's been what, in the teens both weeks?
Yeah, I mean I don't even think he's been really in the teens. I mean he's got. Since week 13, which is probably when some playoffs started, he was 10.9, 13.6, and then last week he did 20.7 against Pittsburgh. And this is in a 6-point per passing touchdown leagues.
Yep.
Which, I mean, 20.7 doesn't kill you, but he's not winning you a matchup with 20.7 in the playoffs.
You're just treading water with that one. But Case Keenum, you got the Case Keenum stats pulled up?
Yeah, I mean, Keenum's been really...
Since week
13, he is 23.3, 28, 25.8. So, I mean, again, the 28 helped you a ton. The 23 and 25, I mean,
not going to lose you your week.
You're not going to lose your week. You're happy to walk away with 23 points in any matchup. It's solid, and I mean, especially Case Keenum, you didn't draft him to win you weeks.
Exactly.
Exactly. He's in there.
If you drafted Case Keenum, then you need to be sitting up here with one of us.
I mean, the last time he put up less than 20 points was way back in week 7 against a tough Baltimore defense.
Yeah, and I mean he's got a juicy matchup. Another guy that's got a juicy matchup, Jason, that's been hot up lately. That's Blake Bortles. Can you see yourself starting Blake Bortles in your fantasy championship?
It's rough to say that, man, but he started the season off like everyone expected him to start the season off. But since week 12, even you go back to week 9, even and with one bad week mixed in there, he's 21-21. Then he had a 14-week against Cleveland. Week 13 against Indianapolis, 32 points, 25-34. Then again, he's going against Houston this week, or San Francisco, who's 28th against the pass. So I honestly, I don't see how you don't start him. I don't think you can.
Can you start Blake Bortles over Brady?
That's what I was gonna say. I don't know.
I don't
How
think
do you do that?
I don't think so on that one. However, if I'm sitting there and I have Dak Prescott and I have Blake Bortles, I would go Bortles all day long. If I had Matt Ryan, I would go Blake Bortles. If I had Jameis Winston, I would go Blake
How about
Bortles.
Kirk Cousins?
I would go Blake Bortles.
Okay.
I just don't like Cousins going up against Denver's defense. I don't like it.
Yeah.
I would go Bortles. However, I think Fournette's healthy. I think they get back to that kind of ground and pound. Bortles to me is more of a don't lose me the game for Doug Marrone.
Yeah.
Not a go-getter. But like if I got Jared Goff, I'm playing Jared Goff over Blake Bortles. I'm sorry, I just am.
After last week.
Absolutely. I mean, other than that, that's really going to be your quarterback situation. I mean, the only other tough matchups are really like a Jimmy Garoppolo going up against Jacksonville.
Which if you're not playing him, if you're in the finals, you're not playing Jimmy Garoppolo.
No, I mean, he's been tough the past couple weeks, but you can't play him against Jacksonville. We're not even spending any much more time on it. Now, I guess I'll take the lead on this one. Marcus Mariota, you're not going to start. I'm sorry.
If you had drafted Marcus Mariota, chances are you might not even made the playoffs.
Yeah, I apologize for that one. Burn that little love thing I had. But I want to piggyback off of, we're going to skip running backs for right now. We're going to go right to wide receivers. And I think one of the biggest questions here with wide receivers, Jason, and we're going to piggyback off the Blake Bortles, is who do you start for Jacksonville's wide receivers? I mean, do you like what Keelan Cole did? Do you like the other guy, I forget his name, that had the 2 touchdowns? Or do you think it kind of comes back to earth with like a D.D. Westbrook, Marquise Lee? I'm not even sure if Lee's playing this week now that I think about it.
I'm sorry, I'm still looking at running backs here. You got me all confused. But, I mean, I like Keelan Cole. I don't know if you can count on what he did.
I think
Marquise Lee is questionable this week, just to let you know, by the way. BT Dubs.
I think you can start D.D. Westbrook. I think if you're looking for that flex wide receiver 3 in a PPR league, I like Westbrook. I think last week was more just of kind of a fluke more than anything. I think he's going to get you 6 catches, 80 yards.
I mean, if you're searching, man, I think you're okay playing Keelan Cole. I mean, he's seen an uptick each week. I mean, even go back to...
Give me, who would you play Keelan Cole over? I mean, if you had to put Cole in your lineup, who... I mean, are you playing him over?
I mean,
like
T.Y. Hilton. I'm playing him over. I'm playing him over.
Kind of hit me on that one.
Amari Cooper, obviously. I'm probably playing him over Marquise Goodwin against Jacksonville. I'm probably going to play him over...
Do you play him over Devontae Adams? Jordy Nelson?
No. Jordy Nelson, yeah.
Going up against Minnesota,
Yeah,
tough defense. Xavier Rhodes shut down A.J. Green last week.
With Aaron Rodgers, it's tough. I mean, Devontae Adams has been so good with and without Aaron Rodgers.
If he plays, and then he got the concussion. Let me ask you this. What about a Demaryius Thomas going up against Washington? Do you start a Keelan Cole over Demaryius Thomas?
I mean, I don't think you're going to be crazy if you don't. If you do, he just hasn't done anything. Besides, well, I mean, even the huge week Osweiler had last week, it didn't benefit any of his receivers because he was just throwing the ball to everybody.
Yeah.
So I don't. Yeah, I mean, I would say yes.
All right. So you're saying Keelan Cole's a borderline wide receiver too?
I say he is a wide receiver too. I mean, he's been solid since week 9. 3 for 47, 3 for 61. I mean, he got a one bad week in there, 3 for 49, and 3 for 99 and a touchdown, 7 for 186 and a touchdown. You can't expect that type of production. I think you can expect, 3 to 5 catches, probably 60 to 80 yards, and opportunity for a touchdown against a bad 49ers secondary.
I hear you on that one. Let me ask you this. I know my answer, obviously, but would you play Keelan Cole over D.D. Westbrook? If you have that dilemma.
It's tough, man. I think I'm gonna have to say no. I think you ride with D.D. Westbrook. I think he's...
Now let me ask you another question, okay? I don't mean to cut you off. I agree with the D.D. Westbrook no matter what. But let's say Marquise Lee plays. Can you still start Keelan Cole? That's where it gets a little interesting for me, I think. I think if Lee's out, then Cole is definitely a wide receiver too. If he's not, do you see the workload for Jacksonville going more to a pass first to where Cole's playable?
No, I mean, I think you can still play Keelan Cole, especially with Fournette back. If they're going to run the ball, I think it's going to open up the deep game, which is where Cole, thrives. I think they can do a lot of play action. It's going to open up Cole down the field. So I think Keelan Cole's a solid play. I think you play D.D. Westbrook over him. I mean, other than that,
that's just Jacksonville's situation. I mean, it's definitely one of them gut calls. And I think a lot of it kind of has to do with who you're playing against. Kind of look at their lineup as much as you look at yours and say, okay, can I get by with the safe, like a safe floor? Like, let's say Keelan Cole doesn't break out. He's one of them guys to where he could get you 20 or he could get you 0. Can you afford that boom play? Or are you better off playing like the floor play of a Devin Funchess to where I know he had a bad week last week, but Devin Funchess is pretty much guaranteed to get you, 10 points. Something along them lines. Or like a Robert Woods or a Golden Tate. I think that's kind of the biggest question. If you think you need that boom potential, I think that's Keelan Cole for you. I think if Marquise Lee plays, I don't like Keelan Cole as much. He's probably not going to see my lineup, especially in the finals. Okay. But it's borderline. It's kind of how you feel. Trust your gut on that one.
I agree with that.
So let's go to a couple of our top 10 guys this week that got bad matchups. Quote unquote bad matchups on paper. Just looking at it, kind of excited for it. But if you really dive into it, I mean, we got Tyreek Hill going up against Miami, and we got Brandon Cooks going up against Buffalo. Both technically bad matchups. I know us being Dolphin fans, I mean, we're really excited about what Xavier Howard has been doing. But Tyreek Hill's kind of one of them guys I don't think it matters the matchup.
It doesn't, man. And he's been targeting the past 3 weeks, since it seems like the Chiefs have gotten back on the right track. They've been getting Tyreek the ball more. And I feel like they're in the middle of the season there where things kind of got a little out of control for him. I feel like they weren't trying to get the ball to Tyreek. and they find creative ways to get him the ball because he's an open field kind of runner. And I think, like I said, I think he gives you a safe floor. And I don't think he's going to necessarily line up across from Xavier Howard.
I agree.
They're going to move him around. They're going to make plays to get him the ball. Not to mention the running game's been getting going again for Kansas City, which is going to help open up more of the stuff that he does well.
Now, what about Brandon Cooks? I mean, my opinion on Cooks is Rob Gronkowski's coming back. We all seen the hit that he placed on Tre'Davious White. I think a lot of the attention is going to be towards Gronk. I almost wouldn't be shocked if Gronk gets shut down this game, and I think there's going to be a lot of chippiness, a lot of cheap hits on Gronk. I just think that's what Buffalo's going to do to come back at this. I don't think that they're going to let the Patriots push them around. I think that's the attitude. In the locker room and everything here with Buffalo. So Gronk kind of scares me, and I think that the key beneficial of that could be Cooks. However, Tom Brady's been bad.
Yeah, I mean, you can't argue that Tom Brady's been bad. But I agree. I mean, Cooks had a few bad weeks. I mean, you saw last week he 4 for 6 in a touchdown with Gronk back on the field.
Mm-hmm.
I think Gronk definitely helps open things up for him.
Can you start Brandon Cooks as your wide receiver one and feel good about it this week, or would you be more comfortable starting him as a wide receiver two?
I think I feel more comfortable starting as a 2 with the wide receiver 1 upside.
But chances are, if you had Brandon Cooks, you probably don't have somebody else that you can sit Cooks for.
Yeah,
Cooks is in your lineup.
Yeah, you probably not starting maybe temper. I don't even think you temper expectation. I think you expect from him, not one of his boom games, but I think you expect, a solid, 5 for 6 in a touchdown type of game, with the potential to blow up. But you put him in as a 2. I mean, if you drafted Cooks, chances are you do have a real number 1 wide receiver anyways.
Yep.
So.
Hopefully, I mean, unless you took like an Odell Beckham or somebody like that, there's a good chance that Cooks did become your number 1.
Or Jordy or Evans.
Yep. No, I agree with you on that one. Even though I do like Mike Evans this week, I know all the talk about him. But what about like Detroit going up against Cincinnati? Cincinnati's kind of a sneaky matchup for opposing wide receivers. You got Marvin Jones, you got Golden Tate. I mean, are we on the Detroit bandwagon? I mean, Marvin Jones has been hot of late. Can we still? I would say that we would both agree that Marvin Jones is a wide receiver 2. I think that he is a must start. But are we just tempering expectations?
No. I mean, I'm playing Marvin Jones. I'm not worried about it. He had 1 bad game against Cleveland since week 6. Yeah, I know. But, I mean, other than that, man, he has been giving you a floor of 10 points. And I mean, with a lot of those games being in the higher teens, some 20s, he's been rock solid. There's no reason to worry about Marvin Jones.
Do you start Marvin Jones over Brandon Cooks?
Plus, if you watch, I'm sorry, I'll answer the question, man. Plus, if you watch the Bengals last week, man, it looks like they've just given up on the year.
They did, absolutely. I agree with that.
They don't look like they care about football right now. They want to go home and I don't even know.
Eat Cheetos naked in a beanbag chair.
Pretty much.
That's our favorite thing to do, by the way. Hot Cheetos.
You gotta know where to wipe your fingers.
Force you to get the paper towel. Or just... But either way. So Marvin Jones, Brandon Cooks. Had to start one. You can only start one.
Marvin Jones.
Marvin Jones. Okay. What about Golden Tate? Golden Tate, Brandon Cooks.
I'll go Brandon Cooks on that one.
I think it's the biggest question would be, do you take the safe floor with Tate or do you take the boom of Cooks?
I take Cooks just because of the tough matchup with Tate. I don't think there's enough room in Detroit for both Tate and Jones to have a good game, and I'm going to put my money on Jones.
Gotcha. Now, what about a guy who kind of had a bad week last week? Do we think he bounced back? That's Devin Funchess against Tampa. Horrible. I mean, awesome matchup. Horrible secondary. Tampa's another team that looks like they're just folding it in.
Yeah, I don't know, man. What's going on with that team? It's just out some of these teams.
You're still bitter about Doug Martin, aren't you?
Nah, I'm not even that, man. I just don't get how you go out there and you just don't play. I get you're not playing for anything, but I mean, you got to have some sort of
pride,
something, man. But yeah, I mean, I think Devin Funchess is gonna be fine. The Panthers are still playing for something. I don't think they've locked up the division yet. Am I correct in saying that?
I don't think so.
I think they're still fighting against the Saints for the division, so they're going to go down there and they're going to be firing on all cylinders. I think Funchess is a solid, safe play. I wouldn't have any worries.
Okay, so let's drop down a little bit further here. These are kind of guys that have been performing as of late. Tough matchups. I think that the obvious name here is Marquise Goodwin going up against the I don't even know what you want to call them, the Bash brothers of Bouye and Ramsey. Just
I don't play Goodwin.
yeah, I don't think he can.
He can't. I mean,
I think he's a matchup guy.
you saw what they did to the number 2 wide receiver last week. I mean, which wasn't horrible, 80 and a touchdown.
Yeah, but if you take that touchdown out,
yeah,
I mean, and Ramsey was pretty upset with that touchdown. I'm with you on Goodwin. I think that you just stay away.
and they're playing right now for a second seed in the AFC.
Yep.
So they're going to be coming out with
guns blazing.
Yeah.
And it's just and so I think stay away. I think we both like Cole or D.D. Westbrook over Goodwin. I would even say like a Cooper Kupp.
Yeah, I mean, Goodwin should be way down. I mean, you shouldn't be playing Goodwin unless you have nobody else really.
Yeah, and that's like I said, he might have gotten you there. Hey, kudos, good for you, but
yeah, but you got to know when to bench.
Exactly.
Your guys.
He's that guy that, I mean, he might blow up, but I think if you were to play that game 10 times, I think Marquise Goodwin has a good game once. I'm rolling with the odds of sitting Goodwin this week. Do like him kind of going into next year, even though I think San Francisco retools, and I'm not sure if Goodwin's going to be that great for like dynasty leagues and stuff like that. But another one who's, when he's healthy, man, he really is the number 1 wide receiver. Corey Davis did not take over like I thought. Bad matchup with the Rams. That's Rashard Matthews, which I think on this one, Matthews is really matchup proof because he's not that guy that you isolate and roll coverage to and double team and this and that.
Yeah.
And he's Mario's favorite target. I think, and tell me if I'm wrong, but I think Matthews is more in the 5 for 50 range this week.
Yeah.
Maybe 5 for 80 tops. I think he's a sneaky wide receiver 3 play. But I think if I had like a Paul Richardson, not Randall Cobb, Kenny Stills, I mean he's kind of throwing darts.
Cooper Kupp, Nelson Aguilar.
Yeah, I'd play all them guys.
Keelan Cole.
But I think Rashard Matthews is down there if you're this low and you need to. I'd play him over Amari Cooper though, which falls to Cooper. But
yeah.
Chris Hogan, I think I would play over. Rashard Matthews is really the last guy that I wanted to talk about. One of the best wide receivers to start the year, been hurt, but man, there's something about a guy playing his former team with New England. They just go off.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think he didn't get a chance to play against Buffalo. I don't think. I think was it last week?
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago against Miami was his first week back.
No, he played. Yes. Yes. You're
So
right.
he wasn't. He's still getting worked back into the offense. I agree with you there. I think maybe this is a week, and Bill Belichick just likes to do something sometimes to rub it in other team's face.
Yep.
Especially a divisional opponent like the Bills. He could just be sitting at home all week just writing up plays for Chris Hogan.
Absolutely, I think Hogan has a decent week, and to piggyback off the New England thing, I think one of the juiciest matchups that we have here, with one of the biggest question marks, would be who do we love in the New England backfield going up against the Buffalo Bills. Now, here's my sneaky play of the week. Burkhead's out. I don't think he's playing this week, right? I think he's out till like the playoffs or something.
Yeah, he's out until the playoffs.
What about Mike Gillislee? Mike Gillislee's former team, Buffalo Bills, coming back, going up against him. He was inactive for the first game. He's going to be active, I would assume. Is Mike Gillislee a sneaky play? I mean, can you start him?
I don't think you can start him in the finals.
Daily, though.
Daily, yes.
That's a sneaky play.
Yes.
And you heard it here first. Nobody else is going to tell you Gillislee.
Absolutely, you can play him in daily. Do not start him in your finals. It's too risky. The only running back on New England I am playing, if I have him, is Deion Lewis.
No James White?
No, he just doesn't get the volume with Lewis in there. And he might see a little more Burkhead out, but I don't think it's going to be anything worth a no.
Okay.
And before we move on from the wide receivers, I do want to mention get Juju needs to be starting if you have him with Antonio Brown out. Martavis should be also starting if you have him. Martavis has really come on lately. It seems
What about Eli Rogers?
I don't know if you can trust Eli Rogers. I mean, he's probably going to do okay for you. I think he's going to give you a decent floor. But, I mean, he can just completely disappear, too.
Piggyback off that, what about Le'Veon Bell? We'll transition over to running backs. I mean, with that, I mean, Houston's a somewhat of a tough matchup.
I don't...
Bell's Bell.
Yeah.
There's no chance to sit him, right? You expect running back number 1 numbers, right?
Yeah. I mean, he just, especially in PPR leagues, he just catches the ball so much out of the backfield. It's just...
He's a beast. There's a reason why you draft him number 1, and there's a reason why he will be drafted number 1.
You don't ride him to the finals and bench him. I mean,
Absolutely. I mean, he's playing now. I mean, a lot of people say temper expectations, but somebody that they said to temper expectations on last week was your boy and my boy, Todd Gurley. Todd Gurley's in your lineup. If he showed,
I mean,
is there any?
And to be fair, we said that he's fine, he's good to go, because that Seattle defense has been decimated by him.
But is there any team that they could play to where you bench Todd Gurley?
No.
If you bench Todd Gurley, I'm sorry, but I mean Tennessee's actually kind of tough against the run. But he's Todd Gurley. I mean, he's in your lineup. It's not even close.
It doesn't matter. He's going to be a top 8 running back this week.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Todd Gurley got you to the championship. He's
probably going to be a top 3 or top 5, but I'm going to put the floor top 8.
Yeah, I agree. It won't shock me to finish number 1.
No.
Newcomer though, been suspended 6 games. Zeke Elliott comes back. If you made it to the finals with Zeke on your roster,
he was back in the practice field today.
Yeah.
So I think you plug and play him like he was never gone.
Yeah, absolutely. If you got Alfred Morris Alfred Morris, you can drop. Zeke in.
I'm pretty sure Dallas is still fighting for a playoff spot.
Even if they weren't, Zeke's been his wheels.
Tell you what, that might be an actual really good game. I think with Seattle and Dallas both still fighting for a playoff spot. I know Seattle's not what it was, their defense.
Sneaky.
So this could be a very high scoring game.
Yep.
Maybe go put some money on the over. I don't know what the over under is. But I would put my money on the over, whatever it is.
Absolutely. Now, another bad matchup that we got here going on. This is the Saints running backs against Atlanta. Big matchup. Saints, Atlanta. Atlanta's still fighting for a playoff berth, or the Saints, to be honest with you. Any chance you sit one of them guys? If you had to sit one.
I think it's Ingram.
Let's say you had both of them. And you can only play one. Let me ask you this. You have both of them. Let's say you have Kamara, Ingram, and Deion Lewis. You have to start 2.
I'm probably going to start Kamara and Ingram. I mean, I think you're playing Kamara over Ingram if you need to make a decision. Last week was the first time this year that Kamara out-touched Ingram, which was also his first week back from his was a concussion. Again. So I think they're going to get him roaring and ready to go in these playoffs. I think they've been limiting his touches so he wouldn't, touch that rookie wall, keep him healthy, keep his legs fresh, and now they need to get him going. And I think he's going to be between the 20s, and Ingram is going to be more of a red zone, kind of spelling them. But he's also going to get his fair share of touches as well. But I wouldn't be surprised to see Kamara start taking more of the load.
Absolutely. Now, what we're going to do is, me and Jason are going to play a quick little game. It's going to be a little rapid-fire thing. Jason's going to be answering these questions here. And I'm just going to be naming off running backs here that have, certain matchups. Because running back is such a sketchy position in fantasy. There's no way to tell. I mean, obviously, if you're in your championship, there's a good chance that you have Todd Gurley, Le'Veon Bell. You're starting them. So we're going to go kind of running back 2, running back 3.
I tell you what, I would not be surprised. I don't know if you ever see these articles where the percentage of championship teams have this guy on their team. I would not be surprised if the number 1 guy on fantasy teams was Todd Gurley this year.
Absolutely, because you got him in the 2nd or 3rd round. If you could have paired him with the Le'Veon Bell, I mean, if is there any chance, Jason, that you had Bell and Gurley and you didn't win your Super Bowl?
No.
Because I had them and I didn't win my Super Bowl. So
I guess there is a way.
But either way, I mean, if you Todd Gurley, I would say
I'd like to take a minute and just let everyone know that this is the league that you just continue to talk crap about all year, and I
haven't beat me.
Sat here and took the hammer, and I didn't have to beat you because I won the championship when you were sitting on the sidelines.
Lucky. Either way.
Anyways,
just so you know, I put up 154 points. No, actually more, because Mike Evans did whatever.
Oh, you came in 3rd place.
Yep, sucks, but hey, whatever. I feel good going into it next year with Bell and Gurley as my number 1, 2.
Alright, carrying on.
But, so yeah, we're going to do that rapid fire here, and I think Todd Gurley's a fantasy MVP. I don't think that there's anybody that can even come close to that. Would you agree?
Him or Kamara, actually. I think Kamara could come close just because he was taken so late. If I mean, he probably wasn't even taken
No,
at all.
I think, and tell me if I'm wrong, I think Gurley is the MVP because he's done it all year. Kamara is the waiver wire ad of the year.
Yeah, I could get behind that, but I mean, I would not be upset if either one was the MVP. The only argument I think you have for Kamara being the MVP is the fact that he was off the waiver wires, and I mean, you know, he's just been ridiculous.
No, I hear you on that one. Listen, you can't go wrong with either of them. However,
No.
Todd Gurley's done it all year. Feature back. Going into next year, I think you draft Todd Gurley over Kamara, right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you can't really.
Either way, I mean, Bell's right up there for MVP too. However,
I mean,
not
Kamara-
everybody got a shot at getting Le'Veon Bell.
I mean, Kamara, I don't see why Kamara is not in the discussion next year with Bell,
I think he's top 3.
Gurley, Brown,
Eh.
Elliott, in that top
Do you
5.
take Kamara over Elliott next year?
I don't know.
We'll let you know next year. Tune into our 2018 podcast.
Yeah.
But let's do this rapid fire here real quick. Let's get running backs out of the way.
I was doing theme music to the.
I hear you,
Tune
but
in.
we need to work on that. Carlos Hyde against Jacksonville. Yes or no?
No.
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 Marshawn Lynch against Philadelphia.
No.
Samaje Perine versus Denver.
Oh, man. No.
Joe Mixon against Detroit if he's healthy.
Yes.
Jamal Williams against Minnesota with Rodgers on IR.
Yes.
Jonathan Stewart, Tampa Bay.
Yes.
Christian McCaffrey against Tampa.
Yes.
Let me just see. Isaiah Crowell against Chicago.
That one I am trying to make a decision myself, and I don't know. I really don't know.
Okay.
Chicago has been surprisingly tough against the. I don't want to say surprisingly at this point, but they've been tough against the run all year. But Corral, I mean, he just beat a tough matchup. Was it last week against Baltimore or 2 weeks ago against Baltimore? He
He had a decent game.
Yeah,
69 yards, I think.
He had a decent game, and I think he got in the end zone maybe. But
Let me ask you
I
this.
think yeah, I play a Corral.
Are you off the Ajayi bandwagon?
I mean, I'm kind of still on it. I think he's still a safe play if in a flex role, but he's not going to blow up. You're hoping for a touchdown.
You're hoping for a big run.
Yeah, I mean, he's been solid. He's been getting a decent volume. He's been getting between 40 and 60 yards.
Latavius Murray, Jerick McKinnon, you can only have one. Which Minnesota back do you like
They
better?
play Green Bay.
Green Bay. You gotta pick one. Do you take
Latavius Murray.
PPR league? Same answer?
Yeah,
I think I lean towards McKinnon on that
I
one.
just think they're going to try to just ground and pound.
Last one here for you, and we'll get over to tight ends to where the money is. C.J. Anderson, big week against Indy. He's going up against Washington. Running back 2.
Yeah, I think you can start.
Must start running back 2.
I don't know if he's a must start, but I think you're.
Is he in
okay
the-
playing him.
Is he in the top upper echelon of RB2s?
You know what? Yeah, I think he is a must start because I think he's a top 24 running back this week. So I think that would give him a must start for
So in
running
a
too.
2 running back league, C.J. Anderson gets your vote.
Yeah,
Let's say it's a flex spot. You have C.J. Anderson and Martavis Bryant.
Martavis.
Okay. So we're gonna shoot over to tight ends now. Get this brought up here. Now, I'd almost say, and I'd almost argue that Zach Ertz can make a case for fantasy MVP as well, just because he's that up and comer. I would say Zach Ertz is the fantasy riser of the year, the surprise, because if you can nail your tight end, that's enough.
It's huge.
It's
I've never really had a good tight end. I've had Zach Ertz for a while. He's always been a hit or miss, second half or first half type of guy. And I've been riding him all year, man, and it's so nice to just...
Yeah, it's nice. You plug him in, he's there for 15 points, you're good to go. You get 15 points from your tight end, you're golden. Now, other than that, I mean, we kind of touched on Gronk a little bit. Are you still... Gronk's a must-start, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Travis Kelce's a must-start. Zach Ertz is a must-start. Greg Olsen had a big week last week. Do we see it happening again?
I don't know. I mean, Tampa Bay is I guess if they're good at something, it's stopping the tight end. But
If they're good at something. Kyle Rudolph a little banged up. Do you like him, or would you kind of stay away, go with a different option?
I mean, I'm just okay playing him if he's good to go. Make sure you have a backup option, though.
I think it's. I kind of agree with you there. Let me give you this scenario. OJ Howard's on IR, out for the year. Cameron Brate going up against. They're playing Carolina. Kyle Rudolph's going up against Green Bay. Was sneaky good against tight ends. Could you see yourself starting Cameron Brate over Kyle Rudolph?
Yeah. Yeah, I think I can.
What about another sneaky tight end that's had a pretty good second half of the year? That's Eric Ebron.
Eric Ebron, man. Fool me once, fool me twice, fool me 3 times.
But can you start him? I mean, he's
Fool me
had 2
4
pretty
times.
good back-to-back weeks.
Fool me 5 times.
He fooled you that many times.
No, he hasn't. He's fooled the fantasy world.
That many times?
Yes, because he is just.
But
whatever year he's in. I don't know, man. I mean, last week wasn't that great. He just happened to get a touchdown.
the week before, he had like 10 catches.
He did. He did have a good week, and I don't think you can say. I don't know. No, I'm not starting him.
You're not starting? Okay, would you start Cameron Brate over Eric Ebron?
Yes.
Jason Witten?
Yes.
Charles Clay?
Yes.
Vernon Davis?
Yes.
Jimmy Graham?
Jimmy Graham's been horrible. I mean, absolutely. I don't think he's got a point the past 2 weeks. But yes,
Kyle Rudolph or Eric Ebron?
Rudolph. Now that said, I'm okay having Ebron and plugging him in if Rudolph does not go.
Okay, so let me ask you this.
I would much rather prefer any of the options you just gave me, but if you don't have those options available, Ebron's okay.
Best of the rest.
Yes.
Let me ask you this. There's a very good chance that if you're in your Super Bowl, you do not have a tight end because there's not that many to go around. Maybe you got lucky and kind of lucked your way into the Super Bowl. Give me a deep, deep sleeper for a tight end this week that you could see getting you, let's say the floor is 10 points. If you had to throw a dart, okay, I want deep. I want a guy that's probably not owned in 75% of leagues. I want a dart throw here. Who do you like? 10 points.
I'm going to give you...
I got mine. Ready to go.
give me one more second.
I'm going golden oldie.
I think I'm probably going the same place as you right now that I'm looking at him. Jermaine Gresham?
No.
Dang
Really? Gresham?
it. I don't know.
I'm going Antonio Gates. Hunter Henry's out for the year.
Oh,
Gates is there. He's the red zone guy. Caught a touchdown last week. Hunter Henry is out. IR. Gone. Vamos. See you later. Antonio Gates. I mean, you
He
can
caught a
put him in.
touchdown last week.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, I could see him doing it. If I had to roll the
He's
dice,
not owned?
I'm just. Who knows? He has. I mean, you haven't been playing Antonio Gates.
No.
I mean, Jesse James is up there. I mean, that's another
He's
guy.
only owned at 7% of the leagues.
Ben Watson. He's a
But
sneaky
my
play.
other one I originally wanted to go with
I did.
was Trey Burton.
Ooh.
Because, I mean, he had the big week 2 weeks ago with Ertz out. But, I mean, he gave you 8 points against Seattle.
But
He
you're
gave you
gonna-
9.5 last week with a touchdown.
But you're gonna start the backup tight end.
He's been good.
I know, but man, over in Antonio Gates. I'll tell you what. I gotta rewind here. You said we're on the same page here.
No, I mean,
And you
I
had
do
me
like
with Jermaine Gresham.
I do like your Antonio
But
Gates.
Gresham?
He's going against the worst team against the tight end.
Yeah, but he's the number 2. Ricky Seals-Jones is number 1. But
Seal-
Gresham? I mean, you're. I'm kind of upset that you said Gresham. I thought you were gonna say Gates, and I thought
I
we
didn't even
had.
see Gates, man. He's so far down on the list. I didn't even get that far.
But Gresham's ahead of him.
Yes, he is.
Are we looking at the same
Jermaine
list?
Gresham is the number 30th tight end on the year. Antonio Gates is the number 40.
Oh, on the year.
Yes.
I'm talking our ranks for this week.
Oh, I'm not looking at a rank because I'm looking at current standings.
Gotcha. That makes sense, because, man, geez. But anyways, no, I like Antonio Gates. I think Jesse James with, AB out. Ricky Seals-Jones I like as well. And I think Ben Watson's really, be honest with you guys, Ben Watson won me a Super Bowl. Our dynasty
Adam
company,
Shaheen.
if he plays.
If he plays.
So, I mean, that's really tight ends there. I
Yeah.
like Cameron Brate a lot. I think Cameron Brate's going to get a good bump with, Howard not being there. I think I like to see Tampa's offense. Chances are you got one of the top fives: Evan Ingram, Zach Ertz, Kelsey, Gronk. Any of them are no-brainers. Now to our favorite time of the show, Jason. If we ever make our money here, I want 2 answers. I want number 1 defense this week. Who is your number 1? And I think we would agree it's either Baltimore or Jacksonville. Okay. Who do you like out of them 2 and why? And then who is your defensive stream of the week?
My defensive stream of the week. I'm gonna pick the Jaguars as the number 1 defense this week.
And why?
I just think they're gonna come out, man. They gotta win. This defense has been so good, and I mean, yeah, San Francisco has been good as of late. They're doing a great job coaching. Garoppolo's been good for them, but they haven't gone against a team of the caliber of the Jaguars, and they're gonna come in. The Jaguars are gonna come in needing this win, and I think they're just gonna dismantle the 49ers.
Okay, I'm going with Baltimore. They're going up against Indy. They are home. It is prime time.
They have the better matchup against.
I mean,
Indy,
it is what it is. I mean, you can't get wrong starting either one of them. But let's scroll down and defensive stream of the week. Who do you got? I got a sneaky one here for you. But who's your team?
This is my elevator music waiting.
Waiting for that light bulb to ding.
And sir, I think I'm gonna do the Cleveland Browns.
Right there.
Yeah, you
so
too?
proud of you.
All right.
Missed on aggression, but no, I'm on the Cleveland Browns bandwagon as well. If they win a game, it's going to be this one, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's a positive matchup for them. I mean, they've been really tough against the run all year. Jordan Howard hasn't, I mean, he's been effective a couple times. A couple weeks ago, he was real solid, but I think they're going to shut him down, and they really don't have nowhere else to go besides Jordan Howard.
I think Dontrell Inman might have a sneaky good game. But no, I'm with you on the Cleveland Browns. I'm betting on Cleveland this week. I think Cleveland beats the Chicago Bears, and just kind of a last little jab at Irway because he knocked me out. So he's a Bears fan. So go Cleveland. Other than that, Jason and I want to take a second here to just thank you fans for riding with us for the entire season. We'd like to wish you a very Merry Christmas and a happy holidays and Happy New Year.
Happy holidays.
Yeah, it's one of the days. But from our families to yours, we definitely appreciate you guys being there for us, and we wish you guys the best as well. Hopefully, we've delivered you guys a championship. We'd love to hear from you on Facebook, J&J Fantasy Flyers, or on Twitter.
Absolutely. I mean, it's been a great year, our first year doing this. Let us know on Facebook. I mean, I don't even know if we have any people actually listening to this, to be honest.
At least this far into the show.
Yeah, so, I mean, let us know if you get this. Wish us a happy holidays on Facebook or Twitter. J&J Fantasy Flyers, at Fantasy Flyers. It's been an awesome first year. This off season, we're doing a lot of tweaking. We're talking about a lot of new stuff, man. Just make this a better all around product. It's going to be geared towards the fans and how you can win your league, and just bringing everyone together, the whole community together.
We're mostly going to give you the tough questions. We're going to give you our opinions, but if we can tell you anything, we've been a part of this dynasty. We're going on 5 years now. If there's anything that you guys listen to us on, pay attention. We're going to do a rookie combine episode that's most likely going to be our next episode. It is for dynasty owners and regular season as well. We're going to go over guys before they get drafted, because if I've found out anything, loved Alvin Kamara at the combine, okay? Loved him, loved his talent, loved his mindset. Went to the Saints, said, can't touch him.
Yeah.
Crowded backfield, anything like this. Just know that talent weighs out. It doesn't matter where they go, talent is going to find the field.
A good thing I like to say or live by, whatever it is, situations change, talent doesn't.
Yep. Jason LaFleur.
Put that on your headstone.
TM. Words to live by there. We're going to be sending out We put that on fortune cookies here in a minute. But so other than that, like I said, it's been a pleasure here. Leading you guys to a championship, and our website. Also, stay tuned. We're gonna have a thank you video posted as well. You can check out our YouTube channel, J&J Fantasy Flyers. And also, I think we're gonna put together a little bit of a blooper reel from all the times that we had messed up, and you guys are going to see a lot of Jason's Premium Play of the Week struggles in the beginning of the year.
I've nailed it pretty good the past 8 weeks, so.
But it was
a struggle.
It was a struggle there. But we've had a lot of fun doing this as well. I know a lot of our guys in our leagues and people around our town have said anything. And one guy at the gas station, every time I come and grab a drink for the show or something, he always, "Are you going to do your podcast thing? You're going to argue about Tyrod Taylor?" So I mean, that's definitely something there. But like I said, we look forward to it. Good luck on your Week 16 matchups. Hopefully you guys can bring home a championship. We want to see your championship teams. Send them there to us, and we're going to pick out, if you do send us our league, we're going to pick out our favorite team, and we'll send you a little bit of a care package. A little secret, it's going to be a J&J Fantasy Flyers coffee mug. Finally got them in. So we'll send our coffee mug out to our favorite lineup, our favorite champion, and we look forward for you guys to hop on the Fantasy Flyer bandwagon for next year as well. Other than that, I'm Joey.
And I'm Jason.
We're helping you soar above the competition. Good luck and stay safe.